Okay, assignment 3-1, we're going to start working with formulas, simple formulas. This will be using addition formulas or sum formulas, and we are also going to learn about ranges, just a terminology, a definition. Okay, so I'm going to 3-1 in my MPC Online class. I'm going to copy under text to copy and paste. I'm going to select all of that, right click and copy. Go back to my Google Sheet by clicking on that tab, and I'm going to paste it in. All right, okay, so we have our 3-1. Okay, so first direction, bold and center the text in the top row. So I'm going to click and select all of the top row, bold and center. Also fill with yellow. This should be familiar by now. We're doing this with all of our spreadsheets involving the Golden State Warriors. And then I'm going to bold and center the left column. I'm going to fill it with blue. And in order to see it, click on the text color and go to white. Okay, so now we're also going to put a border on it. All borders. So I selected the whole table and clicked on all borders. And now we're going to do something a little different. Okay, click in C10, and type in totals. And then bold the word. Okay. Select C10 to I10. Click on the borders. This is a little different. We're not going to do all borders. So I'm actually going to put in a top border and then a bottom border. So you can do all kinds of things with the borders. This is the first time we've done anything but all borders. So top border. And then next we're going to change the border color. Click on the border color button, which is all part of this borders menu, and I'm going to change it to purple. Okay. So we have a purple border. Sometimes, and this is a little quirky, sometimes both of them will change. Sometimes one will change, just as long as I see that evidence that you've figured out where the border color is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add, click away because this border will stay there for a while, that border menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to add all the field goals together. FG stands for field goals. So in order to do that, I'm going to click in this box because this is where I want the totals to go for the field goals in this column, column D. When you start a formula, you start with an equals, and then I'm going to click on the first cell. And notice up here in the formula bar, it says equals and then D2, which was the cell. Now I want to add it, so I find the plus. And it could be above the equals on your keyboard, it can be on your numpad, and I'm going to hit plus. And then I'm going to click on D3. And then I'm going to hit the plus. And then I'm going to click on D4, hit the plus. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm telling this spreadsheet that I want to add everything in these cells. And I'm going to click all the way down to D8. Okay, so what I've done is I've told the spreadsheet that I want to add everything in these cells from D2 to D8. See, D2, whatever numbers are in there, we want to add them. You press enter to complete the formula. Okay? You don't actually see the formula there. You will see it up in the formula bar, but it shows you the number. 194 is what you get when you add all these together. Now watch, what we're going to do is, why didn't we just use a calculator and put the number down? Well, here's the beauty of the spreadsheet. Say if I click on this D8, it turns out that Shaun Livingston only had 10 field goals instead of 12 as we thought originally. And I click on 10 and I hit enter. Notice my total changed. So my total changed automatically. Any numbers that I put into this spreadsheet will now automatically update. this number. And so I don't have to do that formula again. I don't have to re-add any of these. The numbers can be updated dynamically. So if I do undo, the left arrow, it will take that away and go back to the original number. Okay, now what we're going to do is okay, this was field goals, and so we have a total of 194. That's how many field goals were made. Now we're going to do field goal attempts. How many were attempted? Now instead of, what I did is I showed you the long way around to do this formula, D2. There are functions which make this much quicker. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click on the function button, the right part of the toolbar, and I'm going to click on sum. So it's saying sum value 1, value 2. And it wants to know what I want to sum. And so I'm going to give it a range. I'm going to click on E2, and I'm going to drag it down to E8. So notice it says E2 to E8. And what that's telling the computer is that I have a formula, the spreadsheet. I have a formula here, and it wants to sum this range of cells E2 to E8. This block of cells will all be summed. Sum means to add together, to sum them up. And I hit enter. And that's a much quicker way of doing it than we did in the first D2, in the first example of using addition. So now this becomes easy. 3 pointers. How many 3 pointers were made? I click here. I click on function, and I'm going to sum them. And I'm going to drag down. When I've correctly got F2 to F8, and you see that up in the formula bar, also reflected in that, I hit enter, and it will give me 67. Let's try it. I change this 3 pointers. Come on, Sean, shoot some 3 pointers. So I put 2 in there. The number automatically updated. Now I will do undo to reverse that. Now I'm going to sum these other columns as well. Click on G10. I'm going to sum, and I'm going to add everything in that column. Hit enter. I'm going to do the same thing for H and I columns. I'm summing this range from H2 to H8, hitting enter, and I have an automatically updated function. And a function in I2 to I8, and hit enter. Notice I put that in the wrong place. It will do it anywhere. So I'm going to undo that. I want to make sure that I put it in the totals column. I'm going to do a function here, sum, drag it down. All right, so there we go. Your number should reflect what we have down here in the key. Okay, so what we learned here is how to do simple addition sums, either manually by adding plus, 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 or we're using the sum function right here. Also, we learned how to do border colors. Now the last step, in order for me to check it when you turn it in, we're going to do something that's called viewing formulas. So if you click on the view menu and you click on all formulas, it will show right here the formulas that you have here. So you leave that on under view formulas, and that when you turn it in, then I can check that you've done the formulas correctly. Okay, check your key, and you're done with 3-1.